on a beat. So quickly, let me jump on some more headlines from the Punch newspaper. EPL, Chelsea face Liverpool test amid injury crisis. Chelsea face Liverpool test amid injury crisis. Super Falcons star Onumonu retires from football. From Kanu to Iwobi, top 10 Nigerians with most Premier League appearances. 494 million naira boost for NNL as gaming firm partners Techno. All right, Iwobi sets EPL record with 298 appearances. This one, World Cup qualifiers. Odegbami charges Eagles as Shell names 23-man squad. I feel lonely at Brighton. That's Chia Amaka Nadoze, confessing. Well, you just need to make new friends, Chia Amaka. I understand it's not easy for, persons to go to new places and acclimatize easily. You can make some. There are a lot of, Nigerians out there in England, try and make new friends. All right, messages on the WhatsApp portal, and you can still call in to have your say on the headline. Lorenzo from Kubwa says, congratulations to Tottenham for taking the lead. It's a big one. Sunderland can deal with Manchester United with a performance this far. It's like Leeds United have equalized Liverpool versus Chelsea. He says it's 60-40 in favor of Liverpool. And he says, now Saudi we beat where we know here word again. What if we now win the World Cup? Well, Lorenzo, you beat what is placed in front of you, isn't it? Eda Onifadi, I see your message, but let's take this call. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon and welcome to the Frenzy.
Yeah, the Frenzy. My name is Frank, calling from Stefan Abuja.
All right, let's talk, Frank.
Yeah, I don't understand. You say Chelsea, is this Chelsea that complained that they have injury? Oh, is the Liverpool?
Chelsea, they have a lot of players injured.
Coach, they made that coach an average coach.
A coach that won the World Cup.
He's an average coach. Even with that just by lucky, he win that club World Cup.
Okay.
Just by lucky, what will he play?
Okay.
That man, an average coach. He's going to complain now. He's not saying he's going to lose that match. Okay. Even though with the complete team, he's going to lose.
All right.
What is he telling us?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Eldan Ifade on WhatsApp says, my headline preview, the wishes of Arsenal players to go far in the Champions League, not to win the trophy, with a question mark. Congrats to Falcons player Ufoma Onumonu, wishing her the best in her future endeavors. I agree with Amorim. The laziness and unseriousness of the players causes Man United fortune. Danny Befade with that one. And this one says, the dream for Nigeria to participate in the 2026 World Cup has been reignited. Meanwhile, Nigeria's hope lies in the hands of Rwanda. Nigeria should do everything possible to support Rwanda to spoil the show for both Benin and South Africa. South Africa may have lost points, but Nigeria loses dignity every day with the way our football is run. At least FIFA can punish South Africa, who punishes the NFF when they waste billions and still can't sign a world-class technical advisor as at when due. Wale Fatula with that very long one. All right, let's see if we can take this one. Wow, so many voice notes, but let's see if we can give voice to this particular one.
I also congratulate Ifeoma Onumonu on her retirement. She has given up her best for Nigeria. May the good Lord bless her in all her endeavor. Once again, Victor from Maraba. Good afternoon. My name is Victor from Maraba. I want to comment on Nigeria. I think Nigeria will not make it to World Cup this time. Just wait and prepare for 2030 because both the player, the technical crew, and the NFF have take this thing for play. They have played or joked with this thing from the beginning. So with the qualification from the beginning. So as it is now, there is no calculation that will take Nigeria to World Cup 2026. And it is very annoying that Nigeria, despite the talented and the stars, the talented player and the stars that we have, we could not make it to World Cup. We have African player, best player of the year in Africa, twice, back to back, with two different persons, but still we could not make it to World Cup. It's a big slap on Nigeria. But only God will help us. No calculation, no any slim chance for Nigeria.
Thank you very much for your message. All right, well, quickly rounding off the headlines. Well, guys, you should have sent in all these messages since. We need to go and take on our first talking point of the day, and it has to do with the Super Eagles of Nigeria. By the way, the second 45 minutes of that game between Leeds United and Tottenham is on. 47 minutes on the clock. Leeds won, Tottenham won. Tottenham had scored first, and then Leeds equalized. So quickly, let me take a short break. When we come back from this break, we'll be talking to our first guest on the show, and it's going to be about the chances of the Super Eagles qualifying for the World Cup. Yes, Nigeria currently third on the log table, 3 points behind South Africa and Benin Republic. Yes, South Africa are second, but they have the same number of points with Benin Republic. And, well, both Benin and South Africa, are ahead in this one. Of course, they would think they can qualify ahead of Nigeria. But some persons are saying, look, Nigeria can still qualify. How can we qualify? What needs to be done? Some persons that have been in this situation before and have delivered Nigeria will be talking to us in a bit. Don't go anywhere. All right, while we're expecting our guest to join so that we can have that conversation, let me tell you, Nigeria's remaining matches are against Lesotho and Benin Republic. Yes, on Friday, 10th of October, Nigeria will play Lesotho away from home. And then the return leg of the game between Nigeria and Benin Republic will happen in Nigeria. That will be on Tuesday, 14th October. It will be Nigeria at home, Benin Republic coming visiting, and that will be the last game of the World Cup qualification series. Well, for you, do you still believe Nigeria can still qualify for the World Cup? And what do you think needs to be done? How can Nigeria get this one done? We need Benin Republic and South Africa to lose matches, for Nigeria to qualify. Well, let me take a few calls while I wait for our guest to join us. How can Nigeria win, her games and still ensure that South Africa and Benin Republic, at least we will be playing Benin. So if we want to qualify, we need to beat Benin. But for South Africa, their first game on Friday, they have two games left also. Their first game on Friday will be against Zimbabwe. And, it promises to be exciting. The South Africans, after then, will now play Rwanda. Zimbabwe will be playing South Africa in South Africa. So it's like South Africa are playing 2 home games. The other game is an home game for them, and they will host Rwanda. So very, very difficult for Nigeria. The position we are in currently. But can we still qualify? Let me take this call. Hello.
Good afternoon again.
Good afternoon and welcome. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Blessing, the Queen of Stafford. I'm calling from West London.
All right. Blessing, talk to us.
I want to talk about the chances of qualifying to the World Cup.
Okay.
First of all, let me say, if you like for me, I don't even want them to qualify. Because the reason is that they cannot tell me that we have 2 best African players back to back. They're not going to be in the World Cup. So what are you going to blame? For the NFL, we need to blame them because they're not serious. They are gambling with our football.
Okay.
And they don't know what football. They don't know the impact of football in average Nigeria or the street. They don't know the joy. They don't know the happiness. Why they gambling with our football? After when we qualify to the World Cup, what are we going to do there? They want to collect the money that FIFA paid every nation that qualified to the World Cup to go and share for themselves. Sorry to use that word. To go and share for themselves the way they normally did, without no impact that money in the football, in the grassroots football. I don't understand. Can you tell me that a group that we had Zimbabwe who could qualify for the group? Because they are not serious for the beginning. They are not serious. For the beginning of this, guys, can you go and start Ose Pesero, where to go and bring the judge? He lost in all the games that I play. For Jesus, go out there and give us a coach with Steve, a coach with Peregrine. Give us a good coach, a better coach. Run this football well because it's giving Nigeria joy. Not only going in this country. This football that giving people happiness, giving them joy. South Africa are going to qualify ahead of us. Where can we keep our face? The bragging, the noise. I even prevented Benin go to the World Cup because we don't even notice there. Is this coach that we're there and this is our former coach that make us started playing attention today. So it's better for Benin to go if we couldn't make it. That is my suggestion. So there's no even need. But I feel for those that will see me that they're not going to be in the World Cup.
Okay.
All their impact, everything that they are did in football. It doesn't make sense. They should run our football better. They should just disband those NFL, bring new people that they want to work, bring our football to a better place, bring the happiness and the joy back to us.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. For those of you who would like to join us online to see what is going on in the studio, you can join us via the Facebook portal. You can also join us via the YouTube portal. Well, for those of you on YouTube, it's at Nigeria Info Abuja. At Nigeria Info Abuja. And for Facebook, at Nigeria Info Abuja also. At Nigeria Info Abuja. Live, you see me live in the studio. We can talk. All right, let's get in some more calls. Can Nigeria still qualify for the 2026 World Cup? Let's get your thoughts. Hello, good afternoon to you. Hello. Okay, not responding. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon and welcome.
You'll make me laugh. Nigeria qualified for World Cup.
Line not too clear. Well, please do call back. We'd like to hear your opinion, your contribution. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, the Prime Minister and the whole worldwide.
Good afternoon and welcome.
Yeah, this is Chairman Dr. Dila Dennis Machete, the President of Manchester Natara Madrid.
Doctor,
yeah, my brother,
let's talk.
Talking about the radio, Nabi?
No, it's actually our first talking point. Can Nigeria still qualify for the 2026 World Cup?
Okay. Yeah, my brother, I think the answer is yes. You can qualify. If you are able to win our 2 games. And between, South Africa, I think South Africa get 49. There will be the other person that will get 40.
Benin Republic also on 14 points.
So, if we are able to win our 2 games that remain, and maybe even though we don't qualify automatic, so maybe we can qualify for playoff. I think that one also will be a good one for us. But it is for we to do the right thing at that time. So that we can able to get the maximum points. That's what matters. If we can able to get maximum points, I think we'll move to the permanent side.
All right.
I believe they will qualify.
All right.
We will play our first game. If we can able to get 3 points before we play the second one, I think that will give us confidence.
All
and
right.
also for our sister who will retire from football for national team,
Yes.
I think I wish the young lady all the best. you have tried our best, and I think I say thank God that he can able to reach the amount one. This is the last AFCON. Thank God Morocco did not defeat us. Even though I think it was in shame. But for me, I think they live in a high retirement now. So for me, it's a good job for them.
Thank you very much. The question is, can Nigeria still qualify for the 2026 World Cup? It's our first talking point on the show today. How can we qualify? Now, quickly, let me remind you. The Super Eagles have 2 games to go. We play Lesotho and we play Benin Republic. Lesotho away from home out there in South Africa. It is what it is. And then we play Benin Republic in our home here in Uyo. The first game against Lesotho is on Friday. The second game is on Tuesday, 14th October. Can Nigeria still qualify? Well, for Nigeria to qualify, South Africa will also need to draw or lose a game. Yeah. South Africa, by the way, we play Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe plays their game inside South Africa. Well, and South Africa will play their last game against Rwanda, which will be at home in South Africa also against Rwanda. And there you have it. There's a second goal for Tottenham Hotspurs. Kudos with a beautiful strike from the edge of the box. So Tottenham lead against Leeds by 2-1. That's updates coming your way from the EPL. Hello, good afternoon to you.
Bumi Blair.
Good afternoon.
Paul,
Good afternoon.
Sport Prime Minister, who sang for God on the line.
Oh, nice to have you on the show today, Usang. Let's talk.
It is a privilege. Yes, Bumi, if it was not going to be possible for Nigeria to qualify, if it was all over, I mean, there wouldn't have been any need going to that match. But looking on it on paper,
yes.
The points gathered and the points lost, it is still possible. Now, the possibility is that, or the possibility is will be based on South Africa losing or equalizing or drawing, rather. Have they not lost matches before in their lifetime? Have they not drawn matches before in their lifetime? At least we've been around for a while. We have seen football, and it has taught us so many lessons, Bumi, even in this Premier League season that we are in. We have learned several lessons, not to give up on any situation, not to even write off any country or any club, because football is not won on paper. If football is won on paper, some club that won something at some point ago will not be struggling and near relegation at this point in time. Because if football is won on they would have been into certain matches. We have just gone ahead to award the marks and the points to the people we think can win. So my answer is that it is very, very possible for Nigeria to qualify if it is based on South Africa drawing or losing a match. Those factors are not impossible.
All right. Thank you very much, Usang, for God. Well, Abuja, let me inform you. We have the privilege. Our guests have joined us on the show. Good afternoon, sir. Mr. Barrister Christopher Green. Thank you for joining us on Football Frenzy.
Good afternoon.
Okay. Yeah, that's Barrister Green, Abuja. It's a privilege to have you on the show, by the way, and thank you for accepting the invitation. It's very simple question with a lot of implications, Barrister Green. Can Nigeria still qualify for the 2026 World Cup?
I didn't get that again. Please repeat.
Okay. I said it's a very simple question with a huge implication. Can Nigeria still qualify for the 2026 World Cup?
Oh, definitely. They have a chance of qualification. Definitely they can't qualify. But it depends on what they do with the rest of the games, and it also depends on what the others do with the rest of their own games. So it's never say never, and nobody can say it's the person is true, more especially with the deduction of 3 points from South Africa. It's now thrown it open now to all 4 teams, South Africa, Benin Republic, Nigeria, and even Rwanda. So it's very open.
Very open. But when you look at the teams Nigeria are up against, or teams that are ahead of Nigeria on the table, you talk Benin Republic, who has a former Super Eagles coach in Ghana. And you talk about South Africa, who were unfortunate and had 3 points deducted from them, which has now given Nigeria, a little bit of hope. First, let me ask you, do you think it took too long for FIFA to take away the 3 points from South Africa?
Well, definitely, absolutely. First of all, it's very disappointing that it took this long for FIFA to come up with that decision because, like I keep saying, justice delayed is justice denied. And again, it's strict liability offense committed by South Africa, which would have been done just immediately after the match, because we have our records, we have everything stored in our record book, and in this world of technology, it would have taken them much more than 24 hours to take that kind of decision. I wonder why they couldn't take it. And again, too, this is football, this is competition. When you have not taken that decision when you will have taken it, it also has some psychological effects on the teams playing, because, for instance, if the 3 points were South Africa would have been jittery playing any other team that would have come their way before then or during that period. And so I can't understand the kind of, and also taking the 3 points at the time to will have gingered other teams and say, look, for crying out loud, this is it. It's a chance to now go make it. It's a competition. It's a competition.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. You are more like, the second person, administrator, saying FIFA should have done this earlier. Do you think Nigeria could have pressed it hard on FIFA to have taken this decision earlier than this? What could Nigeria have done?
No, it's not actually Nigeria's call at the moment, at that time.
Okay.
It's natural. It's the business of administering football by FIFA. That decision would have been taken without any prompting, without any prompting. So it doesn't lie down. It's not up to Nigeria or down to Nigeria to put in any pressure, or even Lesotho themselves, who were actually oblivious.
Oh, well,
or maybe intentionally. I do not know what I would say at this moment.
Okay. Well, Barrister Christopher Green, just let me connect with you on another line. We're not getting the best out of the conversation from this particular portal.
Please do. I'm also having that problem too.
All right. Thank you very much. All right, Abuja. That was the voice of Barrister Christopher Green, a former chairman, technical committee of the Nigeria Football Federation, and a man who has qualified Nigeria for the World Cup before when it seemed impossible. And that's why we brought him on the show to get one or two things from his experience and what needs to be done. And I hope the government is listening. The Nigeria Football Federation are listening because, according to him, it's not over until it's over. There's still a chance for Nigeria since, if we win our 2 games and something happens, to South Africa or Benin Republic, Nigeria can still, go through. Thank you very much, Barrister Green, for joining us once again. Hope this portal is better.
Yeah, it's better. Thank you. All
right. Thank you very much. Now, let me go straight to the point, because for some of us, we've been around for some time and we know there were things you did, the then board of the Nigeria Football Federation did alongside the government to ensure that Nigeria qualified for, World Cups, especially when it became very difficult and it was looking like Nigeria weren't going to qualify for the World Cup. We take the 2010 World Cup, for example. The then federal government set up a committee saddled with the responsibility of aiding the Football Federation to get that done. Now, from these experiences, various experiences, what do you think needs to be done by the government, by the Nigeria Football Federation, by Nigerians to aid the players to get qualification at this point?
Now, can you hear me now?
Yes, very clear.
I want to say it's either you fail to plan or you plan to fail. That's the situation we have here from the outset. Because you have to set it down. You have to get your planning table. You have to strategize. You have to do everything possible because you've been given time. Your work was, as at that time is, well cut out for everybody to know and everybody to see. So you now begin to think of how to now channel and move your plans towards either qualifying or failing to qualify. So that is the position Nigeria has found themselves now. I'm very, very sure that Nigeria did not actually plan to qualify the way they went about it. And that is the truth. It does not only depend on the players. It also has a lot to do with TV management. Because you can imagine it through this one particular process, series of matches to be played to getting qualified to the World Cup. You have changed 4 coaches. 4 coaches. And that shows inconsistency. Nobody can do that and succeed very well unless you pray for something miraculous to happen like what's happening now. To me, docking 3 points for South Africa is like a miracle, and it's like a second chance for Nigeria. And so you don't expect to qualify when you didn't plan well or when you fail to plan. So this is the position, and this is where we found ourselves. This is where you find, because once a competition comes, first of all, what you do is look at the competition rules. Now you look at the teams you are pitched against, and you now begin to strategize. You look at your players. You look at what you have in your technical crew. You change 4 coaches, four coaches, leading to this point we are now. And what do you expect? You understand me? It's like starting all over again. When you change the first coach, you are starting all over again. Second coach, starting all over again. Fourth coach, starting all over again. Fourth coach, starting all over again. This is where we are. Are you going to blame Eric Chell? Eric Chell just mounted the saddle. He needs to know his players. He needs to get them to understand his philosophy. And at the end of the day, let him turn out the results. You also need him to, fail and rise again. This is what football is all about. But I tell you what, it can happen. It can happen. For Nigeria to qualify, it can happen. Very, very doable. Extremely possible. Yes.
How?
Well, that's my trade secret. That's my trade secret. So it's not. I can't say this in international radio.
I understand.
That's my trade secret.
Now, Can I ask you? Are you saying if you are given the responsibility to qualify Nigeria with these 2 games to go now, the qualification not directly in our hands, that you can qualify Nigeria for the World Cup?
The question you ask yourself, if I'm mentally ready.
Yes.
If I'm mentally ready to take that kind of responsibility. Because right now, I am very, very busy. I'm occupied. I'm the commissioner of sports in Rivers State. I have everything down my belt and down my sleeves, breathing heavily on me. But to God be the glory, everything I did at the national, everything I did when I was in NFF, I replicated on in Rivers State, not only in football. In other events too, yes. I did them, So you need dexterity. Do you understand me? You need dexterity. You need people that can really do it. You need capacity. You need competence. And you must work hard. Good things don't come easily. You don't sit down. You need people that are really, really competent. You need people that are competent. You know what I mean? And people that have capacity. It starts with the administration, ends with the players. If administratively we're getting it wrong, then it's not possible for the players to get it right. So it starts, there's a starting point and there's an end point too. Or an ending point. See, that is where we are. Okay. But I can tell you that I am just one in a billion that can make it happen in Nigeria. I'm just one that in a million that can make it happen. For me, as far as I'm concerned, if I'm mentally ready, I'll qualify Nigeria to the World Cup.
Wow, that's interesting. Now, apart from being a football lover, I know you follow football. You are also in charge of Rivers United. We'll talk about that, later. With what we've done, you also know what is happening in our football. Have we done enough? I'm asking you now because you are privileged and a lot of Nigerians, believe in what you say. With what we have on ground going into the games, the 2 games remaining, can Nigeria make it through? Sincerely.
Like I said, if you don't have the right people, it will be difficult.
Do we have the right people?
Well, that question is not for me. It's not a question that needs a subjective answer. It's a question that needs an objective answer. And it also boils down to the results you turn out. It also boils down to what you are doing. It's there for everybody to see. If you've done very well, for crying out loud, you have competence, you have capacity. But if you're not doing well, it's not down to me. It's down to everybody. It's not subjective. It's objective. That's the truth.
What role can the federal government play to ensure that this qualification is possible?
This is one very tricky one. I'm not a fan of the federal government coming into football. I'm not a fan of that. But I think that they should provide the enabling environment for football to thrive. They need to provide the enabling environment for NFF to do their job and get the results. Do you understand?
I actually don't understand.
Provide everything they require.
Okay.
But what do they really require?
Exactly.
Football these days, you understand me, FIFA plays a lot of role in this kind of thing. FIFA funds NFF. That's the truth. And they also have sponsors. So if you're talking about funding shouldn't be the problem for them. What they need is capacity. People that can do this job. It's not funding, it's capacity. That's what they need now, right now. You understand me? So the best government can do is watch them and to a minimal level. That's if you have people in government that really know what it takes to run football. Nudge them and say, listen, you're not doing it well here. You're not doing it well there. This is what we expect you to do.
Okay. And from the layman's perspective, from Nigerians' perspective, do you think the federal government has pushed the NFF enough, from what you've seen? Because the heartbreak is going to be all over the country if Nigeria fails to qualify for the World Cup, like we saw in 2022. Do you think the federal government has pushed the NFF enough?
I don't know. The federal government is being represented by the National Sports Commission.
Yes.
And National Sports Commission, listen, everywhere it boils down to capacity and competence. Everywhere. Whether National Sports Commission, whether in the NFF, it depends on people that are there. If they have in-depth knowledge of what they profess. That's very important. If you know nothing, of what you profess, then you get nothing. If you get politicians to run football who lack competence, who lack capacity, you're not going to win. But that doesn't mean that politicians cannot run sports in Nigeria. You have politicians that are sports bias, that have sports bias. They can run. Most politicians now have caught their teeth, in sports. But get the good ones and let them run it. And you see the results. Listen, when I came into NFF, I came prepared. I was, the secretary of Sharks Football Club of Port Harcourt. And at the same time, to the chairman of the River State Football Association. And so, while I was in Sharks, I was holding my own, both administratively and even technically, because I was also attending technical courses and following the game very well. Played a bit of football, and so I know football. I have flair for it. So getting into an FF, I was even surprised when I was even made the chairman of technical. I was actually in Lagos doing a matter for the NFF at that time because they were embroiled in a case between themselves and the defunct Ministry of Sports. When I was now called by the then president, Alhaji Aminu Megiri, that listen, leave Lagos, come back. We've made you the chairman of Technical and Development Committee. And as soon as that happened, I knew that my job was cut out. And I just brought out my notes, you understand me? And I started doing my job. I started my plans. I started my strategy. My strategy wasn't winning alone, was to develop the game of football, from the cradle down to the senior parts. Reasons why you saw in my time, you understand me, I won the World Cup, or assisted in winning the World Cup, or I supervised the winning the World Cup, or as the chairman of the technical committee that won the Under-17 World Cup, back to back. It was not a fluke. If the first time was a fluke, will the second time be a fluke? And majority of the players are the ones playing in the national team, that's in the Super Eagles. I went to the Under-20 and won the AWC. AYC, I mean to say.
Yes.
For the women, I won the AWC. You understand? Now I went to the Nations Cup. For the first time in 29 years, we won the cup in South Africa, not even in Nigeria. We didn't host. In South Africa. I qualified
Nigeria twice to the World Cup back to back with matches to spare. It's not rocket science. I left NFF. I came to River State. I was courted in. I was courted by the government then. They said, come, my friend, take care of Real Madrid Football Academy. I was yet done with Football Academy. I was not even 1 year through. I was still building because I'm the pioneer person that started the Real Madrid Football Academy. Then I said I should take over in Rivers United. Same year, I won the league with 5 matches to spare. I won the league with 5 matches to spare. And since then, I kept Rivers United in the continent. They're big side. They're big club now.
Yeah.
You understand me? And they're the club that has the highest points coefficient in Nigeria. They're number one club in Nigeria. It's not a fluke. It's not a fluke.
Of course.
But again, it's not down to Barrister Chris Green alone. We have other Barrister Chris Green here and there, dotted all over the place. Open the space. Give them the opportunity. Nigeria will flourish again. We have abundance of talent in this country. Nigeria is a football industry. We can grow our GDP in football. But government needs to know what to do.
Okay. Now, just as you were speaking, we had a couple of messages on the WhatsApp portal, and this one is from Wale Fatula, and he is suggesting that for Nigeria to qualify for the World Cup, South Africa will have to lose a game. How can this be possible?
It's not in my hand. It's not in my hand. A game is not lost until it is played. So it's not in my hand. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to be possible.
Okay. All right.
It's for South Africa to play badly and the other team they're playing against wins. That's it.
Exactly. But we've done it before. I remember the qualification towards the 2018 World Cup. That was when we were even dogged a point, if you remember. We still qualified, yes, with a game to spare. We remember that vividly. Also, towards the 2010 World Cup, it was looking very difficult at some point. The federal government set up a task force, and eventually we got it done.
Yeah.
So how can
you want them to set up a task force?
I'm asking you.
They have set up a task force now. They had a task force going into our game against Rwanda. Even before then, who doesn't know that NSC is involved in this? Who doesn't know? NSC is a representative of the government of Nigeria. Get the right persons to do this job. That's it I'm saying. Get the right persons. It's as simple as ABCD.
All right.
It's not task force. It's not panels. It's not anything. It's just getting the right persons to do the right job. Right place at the right time.
All right. Well, finally, I believe you when you said Nigeria can still qualify for the World Cup. As a Nigerian, who is patriotic, we want to hold on to that little belief, that minute percentage that we can still qualify for the World Cup, and it will be.
It's not minute. It's not minute percentage. It's huge.
Really?
I know what I'm talking about. It's huge. Listen, I've been in that kind of situation before. I've tested the water. I know the temperature. It's huge. It is huge. I'm not going to tell you it's my trade secret. It's huge. And this is an open line.
Yes.
Our opponents are listening too. They are listening in. So whatever you say now, they'll use it.
All right. Thank you very much, Barrister Greenbaugh. Quickly, let's talk about Rivers United. Just like you said earlier, Rivers have been consistent on the continent, qualifying every year, for continental engagement, including the Champions League. And this year, it looks like you made it look easy. Your team, Rivers United, qualifying, winning.
No. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. I will tell you that, because football has really dropped in this country. We're playing with average players. I'm telling you the truth. Not easy. People handling the game of football have not really developed it. In fact, it has gone down since Amnaji Megiri's time, the former president of Nigeria Football Federation. Is it not the same Nigeria that Eimba won the Champions League back-to-back? It's this same country, not any other one. Now you find it difficult to get to the group stage. Past years, apart from Rivers United, other clubs find it difficult going to the second round.
Yeah.
That shows you that things are not going well.
But
That shows you that the quality of our players have really dropped. Because good players don't stay in the country anymore. They leave the country. Some of them even play in leagues where, in fact, leagues where their federation is not even a member of FIFA.
So
That's the shame about it is.
why is it difficult for Rivers United, a club as big as Rivers United, not to be able to keep their best legs?
Now, you see, it's not that they are not able to keep their best legs. Their best legs are there, yes, but comparatively, how can you compare them with others? I'll give you an example. Memoladi Sunday just signed a player from the Portuguese league with the sum of $1.2 million.
Wow.
No club in Nigeria will ever dream of getting to that stage. But in Nigeria, Rivers United can pride themselves as the club that pays the highest in terms of salaries and all that.
How much do you pay?
No, it's down to the players. But again,
No, but you don't have to mention the player.
We pay 1 million. We pay 1.2 million. The sister team, Rivers Angels, that have been winning since I came, they've always been winning. Players there earn, some of them earn 650. For a female team, for a women's team, earning as much as 650. When even some clubs in Nigeria don't even earn, they don't even average 250,000 naira. It's a long way.
So it's difficult for Rivers United now to get the kind of players that can help them win the Champions League. Is that what you're saying?
Definitely it's difficult. How is our economy looking like? And economy-wise, how much are we getting playing football? The gates are thrown free. How many people come to watch football? There are a lot of factors. Is it betting that has come in to spoil the game? Because we're not prepared for betting. They put our games into these betting platforms. Because of the kind of corruption that has bedeviled our football. Players do bet, officials do bet, everybody is involved in betting.
Wow.
And there is nothing that is on hand to be able to trap people that bet, like what is done in England and in Europe and all such other areas.
Are you saying players in the league bet, players Rivers United and the likes of them bet on their games?
I am not calling any particular club, but players bet. I won't mention the name of any club, but players bet. Players do bet.
Okay.
Even in Europe, they bet, but they are caught.
Yes, but they are caught.
Yeah, you bet. You are not caught.
That's a huge issue. Now, for Rivers United, looking at the difficulties and everything, what exactly will you say is the target? I mean, if I get to the semi-final, if I get to the quarterfinal, if I reach the group stage?
For me, I get into a competition to compete and not to add to the number. The holy grail is there. That's what everybody is fighting towards. Is winning the trophy at the end of the day. That's why I say there's a difference between failing to plan and planning to fail. Because you see the target. The target is the trophy. That's the goal. So you have to plan towards getting to the trophy, which is your goal.
Oh, that's interesting. A lot of persons are listening, and they've been yearning for another team from Nigeria to win the CAF Champions League, where we have Rivers United as well as Remo Stars representing Nigeria. But I won't let you go without asking you a few questions about the youth football development in Nigeria. Like you mentioned, when you were the chairman, technical committee of the NFF, we won the youth championship FIFA level easily twice, and at that point we thought it was easy. You understand? But since then it has become very difficult, for Nigeria to even qualify for the World Cup. The last time we had the World Cup was in 2019. I was privileged to be on
Russia.
On the coaching team at that particular point, where we lost in the quarterfinal. What has changed? Why is it difficult?
Quarterfinal, Nigeria, World Cup quarterfinal. We've never got into the quarterfinal before.
That's under 17. That's what I'm saying. The youth teams.
Okay. Bumi,
Yes.
I agree. Yeah.
The youth team.
Yeah.
Like, so why has it
Yeah.
become so difficult? Like, it was easy, looked easy for us to win the FIFA under 17 World Cup.
Why? Repeat the question again. I didn't get it.
Why has it become very difficult? I mean, just this weekend, Nigeria.
Difficult because we're not doing the right things now. We're not developing our football. Bumi, before you got into the under 17, we saw you. I scouted you. I put you in the team because I saw what you're doing with the youth teams you have. Do you understand me?
Mm.
In Abuja there. And so, what youth football do we have now? When I mean youth football, organized youth football from the administrators in NFF. Nothing. And you also recall, because even as at that time, we had, a few bit of competitions we do play, just to, what we were doing as at that time was trying to identify and scout players from that age. But you agree with me that both times that we won the World Cup, I had very long camping periods for the under 17 team.
Mm.
In fact, I got to the point where you'll be camping and you fail MRI because as at the time we scouted you, maybe you were 17. You know what I mean? And maybe you were grade 5. And so as time goes on, you grow older. Do you understand me?
Mm.
So the first time we did it for about 1 year. We went to different places to camp. We went to different states. We caught the governors of the state and said, listen, this is a national thing. It's a national program. Do help us. Do you understand me? And then I said, okay, no problem. Come to Cross River State. Come and stay here. We left there. We went to Anambra. We went different places, camping. And at the end of the day, it paid off, So that's it. I'm playing competitions here and there. But this time, 6 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, and it's done. And some of these coaches who don't want to work hard, they go get some, if it's like even this under 20, how can Nigeria be fielding foreign-based players in under 20? How? So that means the domestic league or the domestic football is dead. Because such areas where you get such players is from the nationwide league and the other league that you have, which is for the youth. So it's very difficult. And again, he has recycling coaches. Oh, for crying out loud. So where is the dynamism?
Well, Barrister Christopher Green, Abuja, he's been the one, you've been listening to for about 30 minutes or thereabout. And I must say, a lot have been said. But quickly, let me just read one question, one response from the WhatsApp portal, then we allow you go. Yeah, it says, look, it's from Abdul in Gwagwalada. It says, look, Nigeria should just kiss the qualification for the next World Cup goodbye because we do not deserve it. What's your reaction to that, lastly?
Well, I actually sympathize with him because, listen, you don't know the trauma people go through when Nigeria play and lose. You don't know the trauma. If you know the trauma they go through, honestly speaking, you sympathize with this person because this person that has read this thing is trying to make up his mind for what seems obvious. Do you understand me?
Mm.
And to him, it's like inevitable. I have to say it. We are not getting it right. Of course, what we are doing now is quick fix. We are looking for quick fix.
Mm-hmm.
But let him not despair. There could be light at the end of the tunnel. We could get somebody that is in the mold of this same Barrister Green you are talking about. And why didn't you ask yourself the question, why did Barrister Green leave the NFF?
Mm.
I left the NFF because I couldn't work with a bunch of people I saw there. Nobody chased me. Nobody asked me out. Form was given to me free of charge. Completed. And for me to submit, I refused to submit. I refused. Native did not know that there's an opening somewhere. As soon as I got to Port Harcourt, I was taken up to do a few jobs. And by the grace of God, God has been so gracious to me. Doing those jobs, I'm turning out results. even at that, is to the vexation of these other guys. To them, pull him down. PhD. But it's all well. I wish Nigeria very well. And honestly, it's been a pleasure. It's been wonderful. It's been a big opportunity and honor working for Nigeria. If I have the opportunity, definitely I'll work for Nigeria because it's the only country I have. I don't have dual nationality. I have just one. I'm so patriotic. I so love this country. But I still insist. We have better greens, better Barrister greens around than this one that is talking to you. Open the space. Get them. They will help our football. When last did you have a good technical committee? Technical development committee. When last did you have it? That is the fulcrum. That is the bedrock on which our football development is saddled. Do you understand me? So when the technical development committee is absent, football is absent. There will be no development. Everything is ready-made now. You need ready-made players. In 2013, I ensured that we broke that dichotomy of home-based and foreign-based. Umi, you can attest to it. I set up my camp in Nigeria, going from one state to the other to camp with Stephen Keshi. And at the end of the day, what happened? The nucleus of our team was done here.
For the 20,
and we had
for the 2013 AFCON.
Yes, because we had like 9 players that made it from the domestic league in the Super Eagles. We picked the rest from outside.
Planning.
That's it.
Thank you very much, Barrister Christopher Green. Wish you all the best, including Rivers United. You've made some commitment and some promises to Nigerians, saying the ultimate is to win the CAF Champions League. And when you say it, we believe it. We support you. Thank you very much for joining us on the Frenzy this afternoon.
Thank you. God bless you. Thank you.
God bless you too.
God bless you.
Well, Abuja, you heard the voice of former chairman NFF's technical committee, Barrister Christopher Green. Under him, in 2013, Nigeria won the Africa Cup of Nations, also won 2 under-17 championship, including several, youth AFCONs and all the likes of it. We, for me, I told you, I wasn't too optimistic about Nigeria's chances of qualifying for the World Cup. But as a Nigerian, even when there are just half chances, you want to think, is it possible? Is it possible? How can it be done? And that's why we've played our role of bringing in personnel that we think have done that, personnel that have done it before, and we think can still offer 1 or 2 things, in the present situation we found ourselves. Yeah, I know government is listening. I know football family is also listening. We need to do everything, and even if or when we don't qualify, if we don't qualify, we will be satisfied that we've done everything possible, but we still don't qualify, So that's for me. We go for a short break, open the phone lines, and let you have your say. Don't go anywhere.
More right after this.